AI rental. Oh, this one. Now, this one's actually a good one. All right, this is the last one we're gonna look at now, and then we're gonna actually jump straight to. We're gonna attempt our AI the buffoonery here. But guys, let me tell y'all something. Right? I knew something was like a bit shady because I wasn't arguing with somebody, but like I remember this having like a extremely short, by short I mean like one chat message somewhere online about like rental prices, where I believe they were saying that's like, oh, you know, policies or whatever, you getting are pushing rental prices up and whatnot. And I was saying that in reality what it is just that it's not so much as the policies, it's just that for a lot of renters, if there's an eviction moratorium and you're not paying the rent, then like the homeowner, right, the person that actually owns that building that still has to make the mortgage payments or the, you know, utilities, whatever, well, not utilities, but like just whatever, right, they got to absorb, they're going to have to absorb the cost somehow. So like if you're especially a business, on the business side of that, where you got a lot of tenants and you have like a handful that go into that category of not being able to pay, then it would make sense that you would potentially raise rent, not by much. Oh yeah. So the argument now, I'm actually remembering now as I was sitting there talking about it, right? They were saying that the stimulus checks that we got, right? Because we only got 3 stimulus checks, right? There was one in like March, or was it March or April? I think it was like April. There was one in December, and then there was like a third one in, again, I think like around March or April. And like they were saying that it was because of these are the reason why rent went up. And I was like, that's retarded, because like I don't like most any renter that would sit there and any like actual real business renter that would sit there and raise your rent because you got a one-time stimulus check is crazy. And then they're just opening themselves up to potentially lose you, which was stupid. And then they were sitting there saying that, oh, you know, no, we use software, the software thing, to be competitive. And I was like, the real reason why you raise rents is because like more than likely, or those people raise rents is because more than likely they had people that wasn't paying, right? And they had a few of these people, so they raised rents across the board to help like supplement their income, to help cover those things while they were waiting for the moratorium to to stop. And they were like, well, no, this is not actually the case. We was using software in order to be competitive with everybody else. And it's amazing that I had this conversation before this actually hit, right? Where it turns out, kind of like what I was a little bit suspecting, was that what was really going on is that there was just a broader scheme to actually just raise prices as a means of being able to just start getting more money. And it was a collaborative effort between a bunch of people all around, right? Because the thing is that, you know, what's nice about capitalism, right, is that, you know, the best business that offers the best value is the one that wins. What's bad about capitalism is that when you get colluders, like, which is what the allegation in this is, right, then you have this problem where all these companies start working together to be able to all raise prices at the same time, so that way they can all just make a profit. Because if one raises prices and the other one doesn't, then obviously the people are just going to go to that one. So, you know, it helps put pressure on keeping prices low, which is good for people, which is good for us. But obviously businesses don't like that. If they can just get extra money out of you, that's what they're going to do. And that's what this thing is, right? Basically, the idea is that, you know, there's a software company, right, that provides these services to rental companies, right, that use it in order to know how to set prices and stuff. And then there was this collaboration between them and all the renter people in order to actually be able to come to a consensus on raising prices together, so that way they could all raise the prices at the same time and profit. Right. And that's a no. I forgot what law specifically you violate when you do stuff like that. But it goes to show you, man. See, like, you know, you spend enough time around the internet talking to just random people, like you pick up on certain things. And I was like, bro, there's no way this sounds right. And like, Lord and behold, then the Department of Justice then starts suing these rental people. So that was cool.